Let's quickly transition now and give you the markets update. The JSE closing at a record high on Wednesday and expected to benefit from a generally positive Asian session this morning, boosted by some reassuring comments from the U.S. Federal Reserve officials. Makwe Masilela is Chief Investment Officer at Makwe Fund Managers. He joins us now. Dr. Masilela, thank you very much for your time. So after closing at that high yesterday, give us a sense of how the markets, the JSE, has opened this morning.
Morning, Koli. We continue to trade high. We opened up 0.6%, and the usual culprits continue to be our commodities as resources continue to drive us high. And all because we've been seeing that commodities are the ones that have been benefiting from the recent crisis, and also the comments and firming up by the U.S. Fed chair that definitely come mid-March, they will at least increase their interest rates by 25 basis points.
Yeah, let's talk about investor attention, which has been squarely on the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. It's contributed to an almost 50% rise in oil prices so far. Dr. Masilela, talk us through those sentiments.
You know, Koli, it's more of we're worried about a supply shock. Remember, the U.S. has not yet played that card when it comes to oil, just like Russia itself. But you've got traders who are skeptical to buy oil coming from Russia. You've got refineries who are cautious. They don't want to be caught in the fallout when it comes to that sanctions, when it comes to financial sanctions in Russia. And you've got the tanker operators who are worried about their ships, who don't want them to go through the Black Sea. And on top of that, yesterday you had a meeting of OPEC, which only lasted 13 minutes, where the guys agreed to keep the output increases as they are. And we thought probably they will start increasing that output, given that we know major consumers are looking into releasing their reserves. Hence, we still see oil prices going up. And as we are talking, $125 a barrel is possible.
Let's talk company news. Exxaro Resources, the financial results and final dividend and the changes to the board. It's quite a list, isn't it? How did they fare?
Very good, it's very interesting, and that's all despite the logistical challenges the guys that they've been having, all despite the fact that we've seen that a stronger rand had at some point impacted their export revenue, but all that was offset by the fact that the guys managed to realize higher prices, both local and internationally, and also the guys managed to get what they call an equity income that they have to get from the likes of Sishin Iron Ore Mine. Remember, that's the mine that is also owned by Kumba Iron Ore. So that helped them. Hence, we saw their revenue up 13%, their operating profit up 102%, and their profits as headline earnings per share up a whopping 58%. I think those were very good results.
Let's talk African Rainbow Minerals, also publishing their interim results for the 6 months, which ended 31 December 2021. How did they fare?
Unfortunately, with them, their profits were down 27%, and all because of the things that we know. Look at the ferros. We know that the profits thereof have decreased, impacted by the weaker or a decreased dollar price when it comes to iron ore. You look at the PGM. We know the first 3 months when it comes to rhodium and palladium, the prices thereof were down. But just like Exxaro, when it comes to coal, the guys managed to get good profits because of the good prices that they've been getting from coal. And what was also pleasing is that they also managed to increase their dividend by 20%. And remember, these are the guys who are buying a Bokoni mine for almost 3.5 billion. And that mine, anyway, is the second biggest when it comes to resources, PGM resources in South Africa. So it's a good buy.
Yeah, let's conclude with Santam also reporting a surge in its headline earnings per share, having been hit a year before that. How did they perform?
Their profits as headline earnings per share, just like their dividends, increased by more than 100%. And we have seen when it comes to the gross underwriting revenue increasing by 10%. And all this is happening at the time when COVID is still with us. It's happening at the time when we know they had the large fire claims. They also had what they call excessive rains as well. And as we know, the guys paid out claims of almost 24.5 billion. And the low interest rate environment back home and internationally, unfortunately, impacted their insurance funds investment. And then going forward, we know the guys so far, they've paid almost 2.2 billion when it comes to the business contingency interruption. And that's on top of that 1 billion that they paid in August 2020 when it comes to the relief payments.
Makwe Masilela, Chief Investment Officer at Makwe Fund Managers. Thank you indeed for that markets update.